Last time, guys, my phone chose to freeze up on me. So, well, I'll just start on where I kind of was. The D400s, I would say they're pretty undurable. They have a built-in amp. They have the knobs on the side of them, and they have a nice headband, wobbly ear cups, and they're pretty undurable for when I drop them. So the M50s, I would say the M50s are the most durable between the two, which is the Vmoda and the Denon HD400. I've longboarded with the M50s with my dog, and he knocked me off 2 times on that day, and actually the M50s slid on the concrete, and you can't even tell. And my brother was longboarding with me, and he fell pretty much on the headphones, but he did like a little rollover recover, and you can see the little damage right there, kinda. But if you can't see it, then that means these are pretty durable. And I've had them the longest too, and they still look really new. I like the matte finish on them, so they don't get fingerprints on them. Their ring gets dirty from time to time, but yeah, overall, from what I've experienced, I would say these can go against the Vmoda m100s. Um, these can bend. I'm pretty good. You can see I kind of made it to fit me well. So now I'm gonna do sound. Um, the D400s are obviously a bass head headphone. They sound pretty good too with the bass and everything. Now I would say if you're listening to like some R&B, then the treble and the vocals are sparkly. So the vocals are pretty good. They're just sometimes they can be harsh, but other than being harsh and sparkly, they actually have more bass than the Vmodas. Now they have 50mm drivers. The built-in amp is actually enough to fully power the headphones close to the max. I plug the Denons up to my dad's amp, and he has a Denon amp, and it's a pretty big amp. It's about $300, and the amp was too much for these headphones, and the bass kind of got muddy. Not like really muddy, but it wasn't good bass. So the amp itself, the built-in amp powers the headphones pretty good. So you don't need an amp for these headphones at all. Wouldn't recommend it. The M50s. I plugged these up to my dad's amp too, and these like being amped. They love being amped. I've turned it up all the way, and my dad's amp wasn't enough to make these headphones sound like crap unless I turned the bass up all the way on this amp and turn the sound up all the way. And you know it can handle all that much bass because it's not a bass head headphone. But when the bass is turned up, I'm pretty good. It vibrates on your ear. So these, I would say these are close to passing the bass head sound. If you're a bass head and you have a good amp, you have to have a good amp. So these don't muddle out nothing. So the sound on these, I would give it a perfect A. Now since they sound very very realistic, and they don't color the sound at all, they have a little bit of bass without an amp, but the bass is quick. It comes and it's gone, and it's punchy. And if your music doesn't have any bass in it, then you're not gonna get any bass. So they're very accurate for the price. and very good for the price. Now let's move on to the M100. The sound is dark. It is pretty realistic. The cymbals and everything on them are pretty good. They have these little holes right here, and those are for making the bass better. If I'm correct, they have an airy sound. I've never had a headphone that had a very airy sound, and the M100s do, obviously because of the V ports. But they have an airy sound, and the soundstage is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. What else? The bass. My mom called my name, but anyway, yeah. So the Vmodas, the sound is really good. It's really crisp, clean, airy. Soundstage is good. You feel like you're at a concert. The sound is a little colored, a little artificial, so your music will sound fun, but it's not as bad as the Denons. So if you like accurate sound, go for the M50s. Clean, clear, accurate sound that's not colored pretty much at all. But the bass is a little bit colored, but not enough to where you wouldn't consider it to be accurate. So yeah, and if you want a bass head headphone that has a built-in amp and it really does make your music loud and boomy, then the Denons are for you. If you want a headphone that has bass, clear sound, airy sound, like a sound that you're at a concert, and you want the rock hard build on quality on the metal, and these look really good. I think they look better than all the headphones I have here. So a durable headphone that's gonna last you for a minute, then the M100s are for you. I guess you can say that I'm a bass head, but I like my music to sound good too. It's kind of hard for me to choose between all of these. I will probably go for the M100s because they seem like they'll last longer than all these headphones. But like if the d400s had a good construction like the rest of these headphones did, not saying that it's bad, but obviously, I mean, you tell me. So, if the Denons had a good construction, I would take them over all these headphones. I love the bass. The bass is clean. Is pumped, man. Like this headphone right here. If you want, like I said, if you're a bass head, this is the best headphone I've heard to date. It has some bass. It rattles on your head on almost every song. Where this one, it does a little bit, but the bass is quick. The bass on the M100 is quicker than the M50s. So like I said, bass head, Denons. Sound quality and bass head, the M100s. If you just want a natural sound, balanced sound, get the M50s. I hope you like my review. Thank you.